sports fans, this is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes here live tonight with my man Mossberg of Level Up Sports Team, also WTP Sports Dudes. How you feeling this evening, Mossberg?
Man, pretty good, man. Actually, just enjoying a day off, relaxing. I know I was in the chat talking about it and just relaxing, man. Just moving and grooving. Just couldn't wait to get to this television, as I call it, for us, man. And just happy to be here. How about yourself? How you feeling this evening?
I'm good, bro. I cannot complain. I'm good. Had a long day at work today, but I'm here. Glad to talk a little bit of college sports this evening. It looked like FanDuel might be froze a little bit.
Man, I can hear y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
can
can
hear
hear you.
you, but you look like you froze on the screen though.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out, man. What's up with everybody though? Thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna go out and come back in.
How's it going?
All right,
Go.
cool, cool. Well, he's going out to going out to come back in. What's up, IB? Good to see you in here, son. Also, post game.
What's
Good to
going
see
on
you in
there?
here as well.
Good to see y'all in here, man. Appreciate y'all joining.
I hope that everybody is paying close attention because we got a really hot topic that we want to talk about this evening. We've been talking about it in our group chat, and it's um it's a lot of different thoughts on this question we're gonna have. So once FanDuel's they come back in, we're gonna hit this question because it's a question that I feel like I might be on the other side of this thing when it comes to this question. I'm going to ask you in a little bit, but I hope everybody's had a good day today and they're ready for some action on this show tonight. So once FanDuel come in, we're gonna go ahead and get it rolling. What's been going on with you outside of work, Mossberg?
Man, just moving and grooving, talking to a few people about different things and what we doing with Level Up Sports 10, WTP Sports Dudes. I've spoken with Andre Cray, trying to get him in on a Sunday or Monday for one of those great boxing interviews. And outside of that, man, preparing for my son's graduation, man. He's graduating, man, and it's just a blessing to know from when he was younger the path that we've been on and navigating through life. And I was just on the text with him, and he been having me going up to his job, where he work at a different location though, getting food and stuff like that from where he worked, but at a different location, having that, little something to talk about. So just growing, watching the kids grow up, man, and just thinking about days when you and Parlay Pope was watching us run around, we watching y'all do what y'all do respectively and working, being attentive to us, sort of that village type of thing. And that's something I speak to a lot of people about as well. And hopefully we can set this barbecue off for the city over at the Great Windsor STEM Academy. I've been talking to people. That's something I'm, definitely looking to try to do with us and everybody else. Just give back to the community, just how the kids come out having fun and what they do respectively, basketball, football. It could be foursquare. And just watch them do what they do and let the community know that we watch it and we here to support them and whatever it is that they may do.
Cool, cool. We also got our man FanDuel Zaya with us this evening. How you feeling this evening, FanDuel?
Man, I'm good. I'm good, man. Feeling blessed as always. Ready to get into this another banger.
Another banger for
Good to
sure.
see you in here, Zay. Good to see you in here, bro.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
having computer difficulties. Like we gonna get in. I'm gonna do it on my phone, then I'm gonna jump back in on the computer when it load back up.
okay, that'll be cool. Well, let's get into this question, man, because I think this is a really, really good question, and I think it will cover a lot of time to really break it all down. But let's get into it and see how it goes.
Hmm.
Was college sports better before NIL and the transfer portal?
We was heating up about this conversation. I
Yeah.
like the matchups. I say yes. The reason I say yes, not to negate the national championship. Nothing about negating that. You had your natty. You knew who was the top team. Even before the portal. I like having bowl games where you don't know who's going to play who until that time comes. You have a undefeated team playing against a one-loss team. You had that year that players had to wait to join those teams respectively as well. Throughout that time. So just for me, I like playing the different teams in bowl games, different conference matchups, and I mean it's tough. I mean, I love the national championship. Like I said, I love this natty, I love this playoff, but I was just a big fan of it. I think prior to this NIL, it's a lot that goes on when we talk about this NIL. I'm just a fan of before. I just like the matchups.
Yeah, I'm on the same agreement, the same wavelength as Moss. I think eventually, once they get this whole era NIL and all these portal rules situated into a comfortable space, I think eventually this time will take over as the greatest era of football after we get a decade or two into it. But as of right now, where we stand, I know the BCS got things wrong. I'm not saying the BCS was a perfect system, but what the BCS did is you seen a lot of games that you would not have seen ever. Like, you know what I mean? Like rarely. Like, think about how many times Ohio State played Moss B's Florida State Seminoles, for instance.
Yeah,
Them are matchups that you dream to see.
yeah.
We're not going to face them often. We only played them like 4 times ever in history. We got one from the BCS though. You see what I'm saying? So I just think that the BCS and the point system that they ran, uh, it was better for bowl matchups and teams that you just wouldn't traditionally ever see really play, but once every 40 or 50 years.
I agree.
Okay, we're gonna come back to that BCS discussion, but how has NIL in its state right now? How has it made college sports not be better than what it was before NIL came?
Ooh.
What kind of impact does it have on college sports that you think that college sports before NIL was
I think
better?
I would say it's more in ways with the money issue. You could say it's like a organization of you don't look at it at the college level. For me, it's like I look at it above the college level. You got to treat them as professionals, but it's like it takes away from, I feel, a player being able to play that 1 year. If you transfer, we really don't know how great you could be with that team if you develop. We don't know what the coaches have in store for you. You don't know what the offseason could be. So I think when you add money to it, it just gives them, I'm gonna just run for the money. It don't matter if I'm gonna play this year. I know I got a pocket full of money and I can make something happen with that money. That's just maybe some of the thoughts. So I think it changes a lot of loyalty, as we've seen even with the Nico situation. It's just a domino effect of a lot of different things that if we had the same system, I think we would see a whole different ball game when it comes to
So I'll put it like this, man. This year will probably be the last year you will see um a Boise State, in my opinion, or you know, or my non-power 5 school this year is going to be Navy. You might see a school like that be able to compete with the big boys. I don't think you're ever going to see it again after this year. And if you do see it, they're going to get popped in round 1 in the playoffs. So and that's the NIL thing, because Genty, he's test subject 1. He was the guy that wouldn't leave for the bag. Come on, bro. 9 times out of 10 dudes are gonna leave for that money, and we know that. Gentry was their whole offense. If he would have left, where would have Boise State been? You know, that's just a fact. And that's just the era we living in, man. People trying to get paid. But we do need a bigger sample size post game to actually to reference like how bad it will affect maybe at least the top non-power conference, because every year we got a top non-power 5 school that usually can hang around or be at least competitive with the big boys. I don't think though the future holds that. I don't think we're gonna have not one team after this year that's gonna be able to withstand the vultures trying to get their best players, and they're gonna be able to survive that.
When you say vultures, what do you mean by that?
The Texases, you know what I mean? Yeah, the Oregons, the vultures, the people that carry the money bag around, Mr. Monopoly, you know?
So
Them are the vultures. Hey, when you got a running back like Gentry and went for 1,300 yards and 5 touchdowns the year before, and then he coming back, man, dude's gonna throw him a million five, you know? Them is the vultures.
Okay, let me ask you this question too. You mentioned Navy. What when you mention Navy, you think a Navy might get in there? In reference to NIL, is Navy a place that has a lot of NIL, or they don't have a lot of NIL?
I don't think Navy got no NIL. But them are servicemen. They're not going to school for a bag. They're going to school for service. So like a school like Navy might be able to stay solid, because when you get a Navy offer and you go straight from high school, when you choose a naval base or Army, you know what I mean, them type High Point, them type of schools, you're going for the career path. You're not going, it's not about no money at that point. Just like on the other side on basketball, the guys that go to Yale and Harvard, they're going for that paper. They don't have no NIL in them Ivy League schools on the basketball side.
Okay. IB says, I see it as an evaluation, the sport evolving, putting in place like NIL. It's the athlete's future. So, do you see NIL as an evolution to the sport of college athletics, or is it something that should not be there right now?
I mean,
go ahead, Zay.
I do think the sport is evolving in a good way. I just don't think they got it figured out yet. That's the problem. And we ain't even far enough in for this to have been taking over the best era of football yet. We're not far off enough in. We only got 2 champions and one champion in the new format. And the 14 playoff was what? A decade? Was it a decade? I think it was 10 years.
Yeah, it was at least a decade. Yeah,
so
10 years.
And I liked it, the 14 setup, but I thought it was a lot of things that got wrong in that. So I can't sit there, and I feel like the bowl games were still kind of important with the 4 teams. Now you see the 12, and we might move to the 16. The bowl games that's not in the playoff is going to be even less important. So the NIL is good because we still getting dues paid for the money that they're bringing into these programs. That's the best part about it. But they just got to figure out a lot of different things. The evolution is definitely good for the sport, though. It is an evolution.
We speak about that a lot, about that, just the different facts of them actually having control of it and containing it to where, if you set these guys up with study halls and study rooms. I was just watching an episode on Brooklyn at 7 p.m. J.R. Smith was talking about how he was young, just in classes, and he don't know nothing about this. He's just 19 with a pocket full of money. No study system, no anything. And we see this 20, 30 years later, the same thing in a way going on. So until they get a hold of that, and like we said, I think that's when we're gonna see a total change to where it's evolved faster, maybe, than we would think or see. Just opinion.
Post game said, absolutely. The universities made how much money off the players back for how long? And he says he's all pro. These athletes getting paid. Just want to see a little bit more structure. Now, when we talk about all of college athletics, NIL, do we think that NIL has messed up the game or messed up the sports? I mean, is it still not competitive? Is it still not? I mean, is it still as competitive as it used to be? I mean, what's the difference in the play of the sport now as in comparison to what it was like before NIL?
I would say if we could bring City League TV, jumping back in. I think for the ones that even get big money, for the ones that get small money, we've seen a lot of guys go out and play hats off to the bottom, leaving it all on the field. I think it messes up a lot for some players, even some universities. Now, I've been a big fan, and I know I'm gonna switch it over to basketball. AJ Bonsa for BYU, he's getting a big NIL bag, and I've been keeping track with him, and I like the fact that he's going to a school like BYU, their first big overall recruit, to where maybe we're gonna see something different with somebody that stature going to a small school. Maybe that could be an effect and a change. How things be. And like post game said, you see less loyalty. So, for a university, even as we've seen Tennessee showing loyalty to a student, player, family, you know, for things to happen the way it did, it kind of, you know, damages the NIL in a lot of ways. So just the effects of different situations can definitely, play a big part in this. And we always speak heavy. They have to get a hold of what's going on with the NIL, putting people in situations, giving them the opportunity to learn a little more than just jumping right into it. 2-year agreements. I think that'll be the best fit for it.
Yeah, what was the question?
We were talking about is college athletics, if it is better then than now, how has NIL made it to where it's not better than it used to be? Has it had that kind of an impact to where now the sport that you watch, basketball, football, whatever sport it may be, is it not better now just because of NIL? We still watching, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's
So
still good competition.
I kind of think like the effects is similar, but it's kind of a bit different for me in basketball because like who would have thought that BYU got the bread to go get the number one player in the country? So like in that aspect, it's like, all right, it's working out on the basketball side for BYU. Maybe the bread is just maybe they got the bread, like enough bread in the basketball side because y'all paying 40 million for y'all's roster on the football side. I'm pretty sure they ain't got 40 million to spend on the football side.
Right.
But now 5 million, you can get a beastie basketball team because it's lesser guys. You know what I'm saying? There's lesser guys. You ain't got to spend as much money to get your top 7 guys. You ain't got to spend multiple tens of millions of dollars to get 7 guys. You just don't have to do that. We don't know how much AJ making. Mosh, you know how much AJ making this year?
7 million. I'm locked in on him, man.
Yeah, I know you is.
That's my guy, man.
But I ain't know they was paying him that. Is that for 2 years? Is that a 2 year? That's
he
1
getting
year.
that. He getting that now. He just got that. I was just reading up on him yesterday.
Yeah,
Like I think I'm about to do a whole write up on him, and I'm gonna break the news about who my guy is tonight. Who my team is to y'all, so y'all know that too.
Yeah, but like even like what I was saying on the football side though, man, I know I'm not gonna see just certain matchups. Like I remember back early in like early this century for real. Like when the BCS was still going, you had games like Oregon State and Notre Dame. You know what I mean? Like when Oregon State had good football team, you're not gonna see none of that no more because Oregon State ain't gonna never have the money that Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, they're not even gonna be in the Power Five bowl. I mean, in the Power Five conference. And then once they finish realignment, and they're doing all this realignment too because of NIL. We got to understand that too because of these TV contracts. So once you start seeing these realignments finish off, bro, you're not gonna see a lot of schools, bro. You're not gonna see them no more. They're like none of them. Oregon State is one. Washington State, you won't see them. You won't see a lot of them Big 12 schools that that have a lot of them West Coast offenses and them run and shoot offenses. You ain't gonna see a lot of them, bro. And it's gonna low-key be salty for real. Like that's what NIL is doing for real. It's it's weeding out a lot of people for real.
Yeah, and then some schools is getting a shot to get in, like Sacramento State. They talking about them actually getting in the Pac-12. Like, I mean, just a step up from where they were, which is crazy, But when you bring the right people in, I think those are the effects. The NIL, it's a good effect and a bad effect for universities. Like we always talk about too.
I think I'm sorry to cut you off, Mark. I think what it's going to do is people gonna start getting bored, bro. After so long, you sitting here watching the same teams over and over and over every year. You're gonna start getting bored.
Well, first off, let me tell you, BYU is a Mormon school, bro. They got bread. They got bread, bro.
Yeah,
they got bread, bro.
They got money like Notre Dame.
They got bread. So if they want to put it on the football side like they do on the basketball side, they can. Because listen, they damn near own the whole state of Utah, bro. They got bread for sure. So I know they can do that. Now, postgame said you see less loyalty. Do you think that if they wouldn't have had the transfer rule where you had to sit out a year, you think guys would have been loyal if that wasn't there? I mean, we see them running out of there for this NIL money, but if you didn't have to sit a year, do you think guys would have been just as loyal back then? What's your thoughts on that? Because, I mean, if you didn't have to sit, guys would have been bolting, man. They would have been out of there just like they're doing with this NIL money.
They'd have been running the 50-meter hurdles. I mean, you said it right. Just to think about it like that, that's crazy. Because there was a lot of players then that sat out for that year, and they were still trying to actually play when they moved over. Instead of holding out for that year, they was trying to play that following year, at some point. So that's a great point. So I think, I agree with you. I think they would have been leaving just in the same amount, but you would have seen the ones like we see who we see on Sundays. I think we'll see those guys that shows that loyalty to that university, or may just be a flat out dog. You playing on Sundays, do everything that's going on with the NIL. You just a flat out dog. Or you show loyalty to your university and you've been that guy, you've played and you've put in that work to be there. So I think that's another thing that you might, or we could really sit back and evaluate too at this point, because some players like we've seen in the draft getting signed and, as free agents and not drafts. So maybe that could be something to look at down the line.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like the year they sitting out, they probably would have bolted back there, and that's why I think the contract thing needs to come into these agreements with this NIL.
Yeah.
I don't think you should just be able to just hop in the portal. I still think it need to be some type of regulation with that portal thing, man. Maybe 2-year agreements. I'm all for 2-year agreements. Think about this: if you sign with a school straight out of high school, you redshirt your freshman year. You don't play as much as you want your freshman year after you redshirted. So you're a redshirt freshman. You still got 3 years of eligibility, bro. You still got a chance to go out there, make a name, and get to the NFL draft.
Like that is perfect, bro. That no, I don't. And then if you play 2 more years, you'll be a redshirt junior. You should be able to have your degree, and then I think you should get another chance to transfer as a graduate transfer. That we see that all the time. So
Yeah.
man, they got to figure it out,
Because that
man.
graduate transfer is more, that's that extra year eligibility. You've paid your dues, you've done your due diligence. And, that's another thing I think they get granted in a way anyway. So yeah, I totally agree. 2 years, I think that gives you that loyalty. You will see more loyalty, and I think you will see the benefit in a lot more universities possibly as well. You'll see players stand and not just leaving. You'll see the competition possibly grow to where we'll see a lot more games that's, to where we could see a BYU, where a team we might not think gonna be there, be in that playoff and pushing P, in a different way. And that's playing different, that's moving at a different pace as I'm describing pushing P. So just on a different, mode. And I think it'll be great. 2-year agreement and just something we've been talking about for a while. I think this NIL, that'll be a way of getting a hold of it in major ways. You'll see a lot change on that aspect.
And when it comes to NIL, bro, we got to figure out a way to hold these kids accountable still for making the decisions that they make, bro. There is no accountability at all for the decisions that they make. Somebody came and recruited you for a year or two, especially if you in the Big Ten or you in the SEC. These dudes been recruiting you for 2-3 years, maybe even longer. Sometimes you hear about 8th graders getting scholarships because they done seen you at a football camp. But only thing I'm saying is, man, if you chose wrong out of all that time you had to think about it, then you should have to deal with the consequence a little bit.
Right. I agree. Okay.
And it helps the coaches. Like the main thing the coaches complain about is when spring portal hits, they don't know who's going to be on their roster.
Yeah.
It's 2-3 months left before before the actual game start. That's hectic, bro.
So KT is saying the NCAA been making billions of dollars for years off them players. Let them players get paid without no interference. Without no interference. What's your thoughts on that?
Ooh, give us a little more explanation, KT. I like what you're saying, but is that included with, the agreements, the, right ways of them being professionals, going to classes, things like that? We agree, they should be getting paid. Name, image, and likeness. We all totally agree with that, of course. But I think there's just a way that they could, get a hold of it a lot more better. You definitely as they said, you got to hold these kids accountable, man. You can't just give them money and not hold them accountable. I just sent my son a couple dollars. I'm gonna hold him accountable. What did you do with that? Did you do what you were supposed to with that? That's important, because if you don't, it's just gonna be a growing trend. And we see now where we at with the landscape of so much going on. Like post game said, there's no loyalty now. So imagine if you just throwing on money with no interference, KT. Just think about it one time. I definitely agree, give them the money, but just a lot with that as well.
And listen, I'm not trying to get in the way of nobody's bag.
Yeah.
I want all of them to get some money. Now, I have my own theory of what I feel like should happen with NIL. I know it's not going to happen, but I think they should take an NBA model. Pay these dudes whatever the hell you want to pay them. Pay them. But after you pass a certain threshold, these universities should have to pay a tax on it. Because if you want to pay for a $50 million roster and you can afford to do that, you should have to pay a tax because you want to pay that $50 million. So, and that's just the way I feel. I think that's a way to create a fair, competitive environment, because you only gonna pay that tax really like once every blue moon. You still trying to profit. That's the thing. That's why people don't be doing it in the NBA as much, because they still want to profit. This is all a business. So we'll see. Ohio State came up in the red this year. this past year. We was in the red. They say we paid $20 million for our roster, and we were still in the red. So, you know, our university ended up our sports program as totality was in the red. That means we put out more money than we brought in. So that just show you like a lot of people wouldn't pay a tax if you taxed them at a certain threshold of money. And we talking about Ohio State. We got big pockets.
I think we'll see more. We'll see shades of those bowl games happening Tuesday. I like your theory. I like that. Y'all better listen to that young bull we got over there, FanDuel Zay. He be speaking his knowledge, and I like when I hear it, man.
Man, that's FanDuel Zay. He done took 2 shots at my Longhorns. Come on,
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Stop it, man.
I
That
wasn't gonna
pass
say
statement
nothing.
you just made, and then you threw a shot at us earlier when you called us whatever you just called us. Like we some robbers or something, man. Like we out here stealing people's players or something.
Listen, man.
About Texas Longhorns, bro.
If it quacked like a duck and it looked like a duck, then it must be a duck, bro. Like, what we talking
You're
about?
not talking about Oregon.
Well, let me tell you this. Apparently, the University of Texas knows how to deal with their money because we wasn't in the red. We was in the black. Almost $35 million, bro. So we know what we're doing over there at the University of Texas. But it's also a school that got one of the best business programs in the world. So you already know what that is. You already know.
That sounds like that
I just think
talk. That's what that sounds like.
I just think Ohio State fans didn't buy enough gear this year. Because I didn't buy no gear this year. That's what the problem was. That's why we were in the red, bro.
Okay, goalpost mover. Go ahead.
You said y'all ain't buy enough gear. You need to tell them they need to hit the stores, man. ASAP. That ain't good.
Listen, bro. My daughter was born, bro. Like I was buying all stuff for her. That was the problem. I did buy some gear. She got some Ohio State stuff.
Yeah, your fans got to be out there. You good? The fans, I'm surprised they ain't out there getting it, man. That's wild.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on KT's statement right here? We as fans hate the fact that players on our teams jump in the portal, and we feel some type of way about that, but it's all business now. It's all a business now. How do y'all feel about that statement?
And me personally, I'm a Seminole fan. I've seen a couple of them go. If you're not meant to be there, you're just not meant to be there. I'm going to just say that. I mean, nothing against them. They leaving for maybe a better position for them. Nothing against what they're doing. But that's just how the landscape is. I'm understanding that. So when players leave, I'm looking for who's coming in. That's just how it is for me, So like you said, it's a business. It's just like the NBA in ways.
That's what you
people gonna come, people gonna go every year, and I'm just used to it now. The ones that stay, they may get that NFL contract.
We don't have that problem at Ohio State for real. So I mean that don't go for us. Only dudes that hit the portal at Ohio State is dudes that don't feel like they about to play and they probably ain't for real. So it's always some like sophomore, junior type dude that done got passed up by a freshman. You know what I mean? So we don't really. Yeah, I can't really speak on. I hate the fact that our players jump in the portal. It really doesn't happen at Ohio State for real.
Yeah, I mean there is some validity to what KT is saying, and I agree with FanDuel's there too. That's not a Texas issue right now. There are players that jump in the portal, or players who, and they. I don't know if y'all seen the Steve Sarkisian interview he had with Josh Pate, but he said players they come to him and tell him, I'm going in the portal because you recruited past me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be able to play because this guy coming in is better than I am. I got to go somewhere else. And so Texas hasn't really had that issue. Now I guarantee you, I would have been pissed off if Arch Manning would have jumped in the portal. Then I would really be agreeing with you, KT. If he jumped in the portal, because that means that's going to set Texas back at least 2 or 3 years because of that quarterback position. And you know how it was for us when we didn't have a good quarterback those years when we were sorry as all get out. So there is some validity to what he is saying. It just doesn't apply to every university because some of us haven't had to deal with that situation yet.
I don't think though, even with that analogy you just said, if Arch hopped in the portal, we know Arch is about to be the face of college football. I don't think it would have set y'all back though, because that means Quinn Ewers would have returned and then Diabell would have came in the next year.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's probably what would have happened too. He probably would have came back another year. He probably would have came back another year. Now let's switch gears and go and talk about the transfer portal. Has the transfer portal made college athletics from the past not better than what it is now, or has it made it the game now, the sports now, has the transfer portal affected it so much that the athletics is not better than it used to be?
I like that breakdown of it. I think it's what you said on that last part. They not better than it used to be in ways, because like me and Zay had spoke about just the matchups. I think you like seeing classic matchups at the end of the day when you speak on college football. If you throw everybody in a pot, of course, a Florida State Ohio State matchup. If you said that game was going on, people would go crazy. That's a matchup everybody want to see. Michigan, Florida State. I know when we played, so I think on that part, that aspect of it, but it's definitely changing in ways. I think you'll go back and forth, in a lot of comparisons of how it's pros to it, how it's cons to it.
Uh I think the transfer portal made college basketball like more like AAU. I love it for basketball, absolutely love it. Now, football is like yay and nay, because it's more like the beginning of the year product that's put on the field is kind of bad. But like as these teams gel farther into the year, I think the product gets better because they didn't have more time. I think that spring portal is so difficult, bro. They got to slide that up. They have to slide it up. It don't work. It don't work for nobody. Think about this. All these reports about Jim Knowles and the Ohio State situation and him going over to Penn State. Do y'all understand that we was trying to work out a contract with him while the playoffs was going, and then turn around as soon as the playoffs ended, the portal was open for our guys because the season is, the season went so late. That's just a whole bunch to deal with for a head coach, bro. So now you got this spring portal. When the spring portal was in April, late April.
Late April.
So what you got? May, June, July. At the end of July, the season is here. Now you prepping for your first game. That's 3 months. That's 90 days. They got to rework that whole thing. They got to slide that. I really want to get rid of the spring portal, honestly. It should be one window after bowl season where I guess you should be able to get with your team and whoop, and maybe have a week practice or something, 2-week practice or something. And I feel like the portal should open right then and there.
Yeah.
Maybe in sometime in like February. That's fine with me. Like winter work, we can call it late winter workouts or something. Sometime in February, they need to have a portal right there. That's perfect. That gives coaches enough time to evaluate their team, see what they're lacking, and go from there. You know what your weaknesses is coming into that spring camp, and you could kind of build your game plan out for your team to try to hide your deficiencies. But to try to do that in 90 days is tough, bro.
Yeah. And you can hold them accountable with that too. That's a different way to look at it. Moving that portal up, there'll be, show some loyalty. You said you're gonna come here. Ain't no changing it up now. So definitely a good point.
Let me ask y'all this question before we go to post games statement, because I really want us to address the statement that he made, because I think it's a really good statement. As far as the transfer portal, spring, how would you feel if once a team's season ends, they got, let's say, a 2-week window from the time their season ends? They got a 2-week window to hit the portal. no matter what time of year it is. Once their season is, you got 2 weeks. If you're going to hit the portal, you can hit the portal. So of course that means it's going to be happening for quite a while through December and January into February, possibly. Get rid of the spring portal window unless you're a grad transfer. If you're a grad transfer, then you can go into the portal window. What's your thoughts on that? Because I know coaches want to get rid of that spring window too.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that idea because at the end of the day, if you play your bowl game December 29th, and then you got a playoff team that plays their final game, what day was the game on this year? January 8th or 9th or something like that, the championship?
Yeah, it was like the second week in
them teams ain't gonna be able to do nothing about them dudes that's in the portal. They're in the middle of their season still. It should be the same for everybody. So maybe a 2-week window from the last game, and everybody, you know what I mean? Then that's the date. So pre-scheduling, let's just say, let's look at the calendar. Let's just say the championship this year is going to fall on January the 10th, which is a Saturday. Let's just say it's January the 10th. Maybe what the game was on a Monday. Let's say January 12th.
Yeah, it'll be that Monday.
After that Monday, just go ahead and start the portal that Friday and then make it last until which is the 16th. Make it last until the 30th. That's the same window for everybody. Now you give them coaches that went to the 12th, you give them 3 or 4 days to look at their roster construction. They already probably got a good idea who gonna hop in the portal. But now when people hop in the portal, they can actually go out and recruit the guys that they need to keep their program at tip-top shape too. It needs to be an even playing field for everybody, all the way around the board when it comes to money, transfers, everything. It needs to be an even playing field.
Well, it probably had to happen before that date because you're going into another semester. And if a guy is going to hit the portal and he's going to be able to go to that team for spring ball, he has to be in that portal in December, I believe, so he can get on campus by January 3rd or something like that. So it has to be around that time. But I like what you're saying because that gives everybody a chance to finish their season and guys can go and do what they're going to do. But so now with what you're saying, are you okay? Like, say if the portal comes and it's only one portal and it's in December sometimes or whatever, even in January before the next session starts for that semester. Are you okay with guys on the team that's going to play in the national championship or in the Final Four and the semifinals to hit the portal but still practice with the team that they're currently with, even though they're going to go in the portal? Are you okay with that? Because that happened with some Texas players, that happened with some Ohio State players, and I'm quite sure that happened with some other teams' players who were in the playoffs. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Like you said, it happened with us. And I think it should be up to the team's discretion whether or not they let them guys play. You know, if you want to hop on the portal, that's fine. That's cool. But it should always still be up to the team whether or not they want to keep that guy along for the ride too. You know what I mean? It worked both ways.
Yeah, I agree. And even like for example, like I think the guy for Ohio State, because we talked a lot about him, how he transferred. I'm not for sure how it was. Still give them, like, if they win the national championship and they not with the team just for them few games or whatever, I think just them being there throughout the season, I mean, bless them with if they get there to that championship, yeah. But I like the idea of exactly what you both are speaking on when it comes to that portal. I think it'll be good. It'll be great until they get a hold of it. That's the one thing, you know, will we see that exact change, and will we see players not doing that as well? So great points. I mean, I think you hit it on all cylinders with that. Definitely. Even that portal window closing, because if you're really loyal to what you're doing in your school and your craft, you're not going to make that adjustment unless you know you're not playing, as far as in leaving and going to another school during that run that you have, and like the Buckeyes did, like Texas did, respectively. So yeah, I totally agree.
When does winter break start usually around for college students?
I think it's like
It's right like a 2 week before Christmas, I believe.
I think theirs is
And
like
they're
a week or
off
something
for
before
like
the
2 or 3 weeks, and then they get by January 3rd, they're back at their school.
kid.
Whatever
Okay,
that
so
Monday, that first Monday in January, they're back at their school.
2 weeks before
As
Christmas,
long as it's
right?
not the New Year.
Theirs is
So
like the
you,
second weekend in December. Normally, like that second
yeah.
weekend in December.
Well, this
That
past year was December 5th. The portal opened December 5th, and I think classes ended maybe a week after that.
so that
That's
portal is cool.
American.
That portal is fine.
Yeah.
Now, if you gonna do it the 5th, somewhere between the 5th and like let's say like the 20th ish, you know what I mean? Because Christmas and then you come back after New Year's. That portal is cool. Whenever you got it, whenever it is that April one, man. That April one is a killer
Yeah,
because it just it's too much going on. Like just with the Nico stuff, bro. That boy got to come in there and learn a whole new playbook in one of the toughest offenses in America.
mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I'm saying. Like that got to be moved up, bro. Late February is cool.
I want us to tackle these three statements, man, because I got to get y'all's input on this. First, let's go to this one post game made. He said, I think the transfer portal hurts high school recruiting some. Some coaches are building their teams through the portal. Agree or disagree?
I
Agree.
actually said that in the group chat earlier.
Agree.
Yeah, I said
It was
because
on
what happens is if you have a bad recruiting cycle, it could be negated. Like you could just hit the portal
and get a crazy high school class.
and get a crazy portal class to replace that high school class that you just missed on. And bro, recruiting is it used to be so important in college football, basketball too, whatever you want to say, any sport for real. Recruiting is like the roots of the fucking tree, the flower that's growing. You know what I'm saying?
You got the reclassification, all that. Like, just imagine what you could get on a built in a. Like, I mean, totally agree. That's a great point, man. Appreciate that point. Comment as well, post game. You keeping us on our toes with the comments, buddy.
Now we know that this I agree with it because it does affect some schools. Like if you think about Indiana, we talked a little bit about Purdue earlier. We already know they're not going to build a roster through recruiting high school players. They're not. Colorado either. And you got many coaches.
No, I beg to differ.
Man, Colorado too, man.
No, listen. I'm talking about the Purdues and Indianas of the world. Let me tell you why recruiting is actually the main key for schools like that. Because they're going to recruit the guy that's not heavily recruited, but he just a diamond in the rough. They find guys like that. And they find, and especially on basketball. If you ever look at Purdue's basketball team, they don't never had no 4-star, 5-star dudes. They be having dudes nobody ever heard of, but they find guys that fit their system. And that's just a fact. And they always, in schools like that, know how to find the guys that's going. Like, think about Iowa. You never, when you pull up the recruiting rankings, you never see no ESPN 300 dudes on Iowa on their defense, but their defense is one of the best defenses in college football every year. And that's because of recruiting.
Yeah, I get your point. I do get your point. But you already know that ain't none of those Iowas, ain't no Purdue's, ain't no Indiana's gonna ever make it to the championship game with them dudes, with them 1-stars and no star dudes. They ain't never gonna make. Now you right about the fact that they're gonna be 3, 4, 5-year system guys. They are. They're gonna be good by the time they get to their 3rd, 4th, and 5th year. They are. They're gonna be solid defensively. They're gonna be all right. But listen, them dudes are never gonna be able to compete with the big dogs, though. In my opinion.
Watch out for Iowa this year, man. They could possibly make a run.
Man, you know how long I've been hearing that?
No, listen. They got this quarterback from South Dakota State. Anytime you go to Dakota, I don't care. Any Dakota, South Dakota, North Dakota,
North
West Dakota, East Dakota, them boys can play football. Nick Saban has told y'all that.
They good. They good.
They got this quarterback from South Dakota State. He might be a game changer for them this year. Watch out for him.
Okay. Okay. You think it's a Josh Allen from Wyoming, don't you?
Could be. Hey, it could be. I root for the underdog, man.
Could be. But I definitely agree in some instances that there is the case post game. KT said, I say you only allow so many portal players on each roster. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't
Put
like
a
that.
cap on that sucker. Only 5 of you dudes can leave. Which 5 is going to be? Yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
That's who.
No, he said allow them on each roster. So he ain't saying about. He talking about how many you could take in. And I don't like the idea because I think
either way.
Yeah, I think it leaves too many dudes out of scholarships, and I don't like that idea. We already got too many dudes hopping in the portal in the first place.
Yeah, like,
you know,
that'd be crazy. That'll be something.
But wait a minute though. Wait a minute now. If you only allow so many of these guys to go, like say for instance, I think this year Texas took like 9 or 10 guys. Say if the cap was 7, that's 3 to 4 guys who have to find somewhere else to go. They can't go to Texas and build that roster up. They might have to find a Purdue or Iowa or Indiana to go and play.
Yeah, he might be on to something with that because that might be
kind of valid.
Just think. Let's say out of the 4 playoff teams, like if you got 4 playoff teams, that's 12 players that could go be monsters. You know, if you spread them across the board, and you got 5 conferences out there, that's 4 to 5, that's powerhouses. So, I mean, it's a great point. I like it. I wonder what it could look like. Just looking at it, man, you're gonna have ESPN talking about this one, KT. I love that comment.
It's too many variables though, man. Because look, like now you would have to. Now you're talking about people's NIL deals. You know what I'm saying? It's too many variables, bro.
But just think, that could be a position to where, you got players out there that could go to like you said, a Purdue, Iowa, go to a small school, be loyal, show what loyalty could mean to you, bringing that program up, making a bigger NIL. I mean, it's going to take, I think, for someone to do something like that, for a lot of this to change faster than how they're moving on it when it comes to this NIL. Somebody to be loyal to a small.
But if you did 2-year contracts, it would negate anything with that.
I agree. No, I totally agree with that. But I mean, I think if you like the way we going right now, who knows how long or how fast they're going to come up with anything. So, my boy AJ over there in BYU, first, 5-star over there, might be a game changer. Just seeing going to a small school, what it could do for you. I don't know. Just my opinion.
Moss, how many people did y'all sign in y'all's recruiting class this year?
Honestly, I ain't even going to tell you the right number. I can't tell you.
What about you, No?
We signed 25 dudes. 23 of those guys was early enrollees. They're already on campus. Ooh. Spring practice, the whole night. We only got 2 dudes. 2 dudes.
Them some super smart kids, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the way to go nowadays.
We just dealt with that crazy spring portal that we sitting here talking about. We had players leave, other players coming in at key positions. You're talking about wide receiver, running back. We just had another quarterback come in. So like our quarterback room full, wide receiver room full, running back room full. So it's definitely a load is there. It's just that late portal, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, but the reason why I asked y'all that question, because the point I'm trying to make is, out of them 25 kids, after this year, how many was going to want to transfer? Maybe 3, 4, I'll say,
well, maybe not next year, but the year after that, maybe going into their second year, it'd probably be 3 to 4.
So now let's just say that's every year y'all get 25 on average. but you only got to worry about it 2 years after you're removed from your class. That negates that problem.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Because now you only got red shirt freshmen and true sophomores that's transferring.
Yeah.
You don't have no juniors, you don't have no seniors. So the number total is gonna go down.
Yeah. Well, right now, you can have, I believe it's 105 scholarship players right now. So you gotta, if you're a coach that wants to fill the 105, you don't have to. You can still stay around that 85, but I don't know how many people are going to do that when you got a chance to develop some other guys, beyond that 85. But think that might be the issue that you will run into if you try to limit, put a cap on how many players you can bring in the portal, because you got to at least try to reach that. Like right now, it's 105, but it used to be 85. You want to make sure you got at least 85 of those guys on that field, because you want to have 3 and 4 deep, in case you suffer injuries and things like that. So that might mess that up too.
Well, I know for a fact that every Division I football program get 85 full scholarships. So that 105 is 20 walk-ons.
Right.
Well, that's what it is right now. But they're trying to get them to be on scholarship too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, give or take, we kept 40 walk-ons. We would fill out 125 when it was 125. We will have 40 walk-ons. Now, I hope they do add them extra scholarships. I'm all for people getting a free education. I want more free educations. I'll take that all day over the 125. Even though I know the sheer numbers, losing 20 kids on the practice field and on your practice squads and your 3 or 4 deeps, that's gonna hurt a lot of programs as well too. But I take that over. I'll take the scholarships over that, but the 105, that's tough. It ain't gonna be no more walk-ons either. So them guys are gonna lose chances as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's gonna be an issue. I mean, it's a fair trade-off. I think. What y'all think? Y'all think it's a fair trade-off?
Yeah, I think so. Post game, can you do us a favor? I see you posted that 31,000 student athletes hit the portal. Can you find out how many student athletes there actually was in 2023, so we can compare that 31 number with the total number of actual student athletes that were in there while we tackle this next statement by KT? I mean, you don't have to. I'm just asking if you could.
It's way more than that 23. I mean, it's above that 31,000 right now so far.
Yeah. So whoever wins the whoever wins the championship is at least is the last one to get players in the portal should be a rule. So you saying? So I think this is KT's statement. Like Ohio State just won the championship. They should be the last team to even be able to get guys out of the portal. Now you just won the Natty. Now you shouldn't be able to load up. Is what I think what he's saying. How y'all feel about that?
That's terrible. It's not an even playing field. You giving teams advantages. You got to be a level playing field.
Yeah, I mean, just because they won a national championship, you can't just say they can't do anything as far as in the transfer portal. You still got to grant them the same as every other university. I mean, you have players leaving the team that won a national championship, so that should tell you. Like,
who KT like, man? He hating. Who he like?
I'm about to get at him. Shh, don't say nothing. We gonna get at him. Y'all got at him some years ago in that classical matchup. Y'all came through with a hurricane, but we'll say that for later. But yeah,
man, that was the most controversial national championship victory.
Yeah, crazy. I've been watching a lot of the old school national championships on basketball and football side, man. But yeah, it would be crazy if you wouldn't let a national championship team be a part of the portal. They definitely have something to say. It'll be crazy.
It's already in the books. No. Just leave it alone, man.
It's in the books.
Leave it alone.
It's in the books.
Post-game.
It's in the books right where it says bullshit. No. Hey, no, listen. I'm gonna be straight up with you, bro. I'm gonna be straight up with you. That Ohio State team was really good because I'm gonna tell you right now, I thought they had no chance on that field with that Miami team, but that Ohio State team was good, bro, and they played really good, man. I don't think they should have won that game, but they played really well, man. They had some talent on that team, bro.
Yeah, man.
Oh, 520,000.
Yeah,
student athlete.
Well, that's a pretty small percentage, man. That's almost what's that about 15%?
Yeah. Wow.
Because if it was 61,000, 610,000.
It'll be like 20.
No, let me see. Maybe my math is bad.
No, I think you're right on it.
Yeah, because if it was 310,000, that would be 10%. That was probably less than that. Let me do the math, man. Y'all keep talking while I do this math, man.
Hey, I'm gonna address KT. He said the NBA does it in the NFL. No, that is a draft. The portal is free agency.
Yeah.
It ain't no boundaries on free agency. Anybody can sign with anybody in free agency. This is free agency.
This every season.
Yeah. Now, there's no way you're gonna be able to implement like a draft-like system in college football because one, you gotta recruit, and that's the freedom for the players to be able to choose wherever they want to go. This is not like we line it. It's way too many schools anyway to even try to do a draft. Like you can't leave out the freedom for somebody to pick where they want to live their next year of life in. Like that's I don't know. That ain't the same thing, bro. That's a draft.
Then like it's just for me, like that would be wild. You got to think of the NBA. You only get them a few years. They signing contracts. You know, it's a lot more money out there. You got the luxury tax. It's not going to happen, you know, on that level. Like college, they got to come up with an agreement when it comes with everything. Just our opinion, and we wouldn't see this portal at a whopping 31,000 plus. Like it's insane, man. Like for me, like when they said, I think we was talking about this day, and it was at like 1,500.
Yeah,
then it went up to like overnight. It went up to like 2,000 or 3,000. It was like it's crazy, man. It's insane. So we definitely talk about it on a regular. It's just like you said, KT. It's balanced the game. It balanced the game. How would it? I don't know.
That's only 6%. That's not a lot.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
All you had to do is pull the calculator out, man.
This right here, my brother.
You right.
Calculator.
You right. Hey.
No. The calculator came from this brain right here. My brain, not
work
somebody
your mind. My bad. I was wrong. Hey, exercise your brain for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's good, man. I
asked my girl for a calculator the other day. She was like, I can't find it. She was like, you good at math, though. Should I get you a pen and paper? And I sure enough took that pen and paper, bro.
Yeah, I always love working that pen and paper with the math. And I be using the crazy thing, how they got the mental math. It's estimation pretty much. And it's like, man, this is math. This is so easy. And using the way some of their styles mixed with our styles from back then, I'm like, I love messing with the numbers now.
Hey, let me ask KT a question real quick, man. I want to ask him this. Who's his team?
Miami Hurricanes.
Okay, so you like Miami, man. So let's just say, man, I don't know nobody on your team, bro. Yeah, I don't know nobody on this team but Carson Beck. Let's just say your top player, though. Your top player after this season, whoever your top player is. Let's take Carson Beck out of the equation. Let's say your top player wants to hit the portal. And he hit the portal. And Texas, they win the national championship. You telling me he should not even have an option or choice to be able to go to Texas. And he could be from Texas. Let's just say he's from Texas for the experiment of the team. You saying he shouldn't be able to go to Texas because they won a national championship? I don't think that feed right with me. It is nothing in my bones that make me feel right about that. You don't know why he wanted to transfer. His grandma could be sick. He could be wanting to go get close to grandma.
That's why I think we agree on them having just a complete control of it. Because like we, just thinking about it, we don't know their situations. They may be doing it for the best, like you just said, over their, family situations and whatnot. But yeah, just if they get a hold of it, I think we'll see the number come down. You'll see a lot more loyalty, and you'll see student athletes being student athletes. They, WTP sports dudes, they know I'm heavy on that, being a student athlete first, if anything. I think if you see that, you'll see a whole different change in the landscape.
Student athlete is over, Moss. That's over with.
It's crazy. It's more gold chains and money going around.
Yeah.
It's just being athletes. Until that changes, we don't know what it's going to be. Hopefully somebody come in with that Coach Carter enthusiasm.
I mean, they still gonna be they still students. It ain't like they can show up on your campus, not go to class, and get to play football.
I bet there's a lot of that going on.
I
bet it is. I bet it is. Not at Ohio State, because we too prestigious of a program. But I bet it's a lot of that going on.
And you talking about what was the name of that school that really wasn't a school? Sycamore.
Yeah, Bishop Sycamore.
Ain't no Sycamores out there, man. Come on, man.
That was crazy.
I'm telling you, bro.
I'm still tripping on how they pulled that off.
Bro.
Oh no, he ain't saying that they can't go there. He said y'all should be the last team to be able to be in the portal, to get players in the portal. Y'all like. Okay.
Oh, he's saying so just keep it how it is and let them dudes hit the portal, and if they want to recruit while they in the playoffs, still okay. I get that. I wouldn't be mad if they kept that part, but I still think it just need to be one window. But I understand what you're saying, and I wouldn't be mad at that. You're right. Yeah. I guess that's you gotta give and take,
So post game is saying 3,300 students has hit the portal this year. 1,300 of them were women basketball players. What's up with that?
That women's basketball landscape, I think we about to see something different. You got Cody over at Ole Miss. You got what was her name from here? Felicia. She's over at I believe LSU. You got a lot of players going to different places. I think the girl from Notre Dame, I can't remember if she went to TCU. I think so. You definitely got it going on, man, and it's getting good.
Man,
go ahead.
I don't even want to say what I want to say. I'll text it to the group chat, man.
Coach Gago wants to know, what do we think about tampering during the season?
So I heard somebody say, I think it was Joe Clatt. I like his idea, his viewpoint on it. He said that we need to get these agents registered. Yeah. And we'll be able to monitor after they get registered who's doing what. And I think that's a perfect thing. Yeah, all these dudes need to be registered. They need to have some type of certification or whatever with the NCAA, and they need to figure out a monitoring system to figure out when and who these agents are talking to and pursuing for their clients to get these NIL deals, bro. Because it's nothing we got in place to monitor tampering. Tampering is going to happen until they figure out a system to monitor these agents, and that's it. It's tampering going all the way through everywhere. It's tampering everywhere. I thought we was going to listen. I'm a Buckeye fan. I thought we was going to tamper this summer. I thought we was. Cause Drew Allen,
y'all probably did.
We didn't even get nothing from the portal for real. Like, we didn't take that many kids out of the portal. But I thought, like, if Ryan Day felt like Julian Sayin wasn't that dude, I thought we was gonna go tamper with Drew Aller. I did, because he a Ohio kid.
Wow, you did? You thought Drew Aller?
I mean, they projected him to be a first round quarterback pick. Yeah, they love him. I don't like him.
Is that a loss for the Buckeyes this year?
No, it's not. He's terrible. Whoever draft him, if they draft him in the first round, they will get fired. Trust me, in 2 years.
Yeah. As far as that tampering goes, man, it's every time I hear something about tampering, you know whose name always attached to the shit?
Texas.
Man, get out of here. Oregon's name come up in all kinds of tampering. Well, I know for a fact they tampered with Johnny Barron. Johnny Barron was going in the portal too.
I know for a fact y'all tampered with the defensive tackle out of Syracuse. I know for a fact y'all did.
Okay, prove it then. Prove it.
I got you later, bro.
Oh, okay. You gotta go do some research or something.
Nah, I gotta find it again on my phone. I'm gonna send it to you.
Because we didn't need that kid. We already had mass defensive tackles already.
Bro, that was the position group that y'all needed, bro. Y'all got the DNs.
No, we did. But we had already had 3 or 4 guys before we got him.
Ain't none of them him.
Which one are you talking about?
He the best one y'all got.
Talking about Jackson.
The dude, Murad Watson.
Murad Watson, yeah, from Syracuse. I don't know why I got Stanford written next to his name.
Because you don't know how to do your research sometimes.
Well, I mean, I probably was rushing because I knew you was probably on my neck about something.
He said he got Stanford next to him. Oh, was that a little tampering that was going on?
No, we got a defensive tackle from Stanford too. Yeah, so I just put that next to the wrong name. That's all. But we ain't got a tamper, bro. We got the bread. We got the bread. So
that's why y'all tamper.
Oh, stop it, man. Before we wrap it up, man, this daggone house settlement agreement should have been over. Should have been over. She should have ruled on that yesterday. But the NCAA, man, is kicking the can, bro, down the street. They are not. She asked for this. They'll give her a semblance of what she wants, and then they got to keep going back. They're almost to the point where it's going to be done, but the NCAA is having an issue with, I guess, grandfathering in all of these other players. Maybe part of that 105 from these universities who are like the ones that are in the portal. They want them to get grandfathered in, even though they don't have a team. And so the NCAA is not writing it up that way, and so she keep kicking it back. Is the NCAA doing this crap on purpose, man? Are they trying to drag this thing out?
Yeah, ain't no other way they because they feel is getting away from them. They knew it was slipping away from them since they started pushing, and I think this is their way of just trying to put their balls on the table and show their strength, and that's it. I mean, everything is being done, I think, the right way. They just got to let it be. You know, they're looking for the best thing for sports, college sports. And I think it'll elevate it even more as well. It's a lot of money that they holding back for this sport to be elevated and transcended to another era of football that we waiting to see. As FanDuel, as they said, could go to a whole nother level.
Man, listen. The NCAA don't want none of this to be happening in the first place, so you know they dragging it out. They are absolutely heated right now, bro.
Pissed, bro.
So, man, hey, forget them, man. Forget them. We don't care. They gonna keep on doing it. They messing up the letter, the language in the writing. That's what's going on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what's going on.
Come on, bro. We know these people know how to write. This is what we talk about. This is what they do.
Yeah, for sure. Is there a possibility that they can drag this thing out to the point where the 20.5 million will not go in effect this upcoming season.
I think that's what's well. I don't think the 20.5 is going to come this season in the first place. I think it's going to start next year, but I do think um they just stalling because they know they about to dish out all this money. It's by as soon as she signed, the judge signed that, they got to start dishing out money right now.
right away.
Yeah.
No
So
shit.
I think they just licking their wounds right now for real, bro. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
I agree. They definitely ain't nothing they could do. That's all it is.
All right, y'all. Well, that's all I had, man. We had a really good discussion. We appreciate KT post game. Oh yeah. I'm glad you reminded me of that post game. So
Ooh.
Rob, what
Put
makes
a
you so confident
put a
that the
percent on it.
Longhorns go into Ohio and get the win week 1? I want to know why. Well, here's why, my man, Post Game. I'm glad you remembered the question, bro, because we had talked a little bit about that. This is how I know that Texas is going to beat Ohio State week 1. Simply because they're starting a freshman quarterback, well, not freshman, redshirt freshman quarterback, who is not going to know what's coming at him in the terms of the pass rush that Texas is going to have. Because I'm telling you right now, our bookends, our edges off the chain. You got Anthony Hill. I just think offensively, Ohio State is going to have a hard time doing anything against this Texas defense, even though they got Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, who are fabulous wide receivers. I just think he's not going to have enough time to be able to process it all because we're going to have something for him. And PK, he got the personnel that he wants. And you see how good the Texas defense was last year. I think that's going to be a difference. And then I think that Steve Sarkisian, man, whenever he got the weapons that he needs, he's going to be able to scheme some stuff up. And I got to give it up to Ohio State last year because there were some plays that we ran that we had opportunities to get some good gains, but their players they were good tacklers.
We were there for it. Yeah.
And they made it happen. But I think for sure, I think we have a better chance because we got maybe a little bit more experience and we got a better quarterback.
August 30th talk post game.
Yeah.
You might as well join the chat with him sometimes. That was a great question.
I got to get his contact stuff so I can send him.
I got it. Yeah, because my email.
Man, post game scared, man. Leave him alone. He liked the comment section, man.
Nah, send me shoot that email through again post game. Send me one because my storage space been acting up. I didn't clear something out. But yeah, we definitely gonna get you in. Talk to us.
Post game, let me say this real quick, man. Now I do feel like we will win this game on August 30th. But
who's we first? Who's we?
Oh,
you ran off the set?
You said who we? I showed you the set.
Who that's in the background.
Yeah. But this is what I'm saying though. Even if we lost that game, I love the way our schedule is scheduled this year because we play Texas week 1, who we all think is going to be a top 3 football team this season. We can see where we at week 1, and then we play Grambling State, we play Ohio, then we got a bye, we go to Washington, then we play Minnesota, who are all in my power rankings in the Big Ten below 7. So we got 4 kind of easy games right after that before we go to Illinois, who I think is a top 3 team in the Big Ten this year, due to scheduling. Of course, I think they'll go 11-1 this year. That's coming soon, by the way. We go to Illinois, then we got Wisconsin before we play Penn State. So as far as the scheduling goes, we'll be able to see what we need to work on after week 1 before we even get into the meat of our schedule. And that's just going to call for a monster. So we'll be straight. win or lose, we'll be straight. Trust me, we'll be all right.
Y'all definitely have a much easier schedule than
No,
Texas.
we don't have an easier schedule. I
Yeah, you
didn't
do,
say
man.
that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you
I
do,
didn't
man.
say
Yeah,
that.
you do. Okay,
No, we could compare the schedule, bro.
When?
Right now.
Okay, go.
Let's look at it.
Go.
Hold on, let me pull y'all schedule up, man.
No, let me pull your schedule up. Don't pull
I got my schedule up. I got my schedule up.
Pull mine up then. Pull mine up. Pull mine up.
San Jose State, cupcake. UTEP, cupcake. Sam Houston, cupcake. All right, Kentucky, cupcake. Mississippi State, cupcake. Vandy, they had a good year last year, but cupcake. Like, what are we talking about? Arkansas, gonna be a cupcake this year. Bro, y'all got 7 cupcakes.
That sounds like an undefeated Texas team to start the
Hey,
season.
y'all sound like y'all got 7 cupcakes, bro.
Okay, now put Ohio State. Now tell me Ohio State.
All right, we got Grambling State, cupcake. Ohio, cupcake. Hey, Washington is gonna be a cupcake. Minnesota is gonna be decent.
Oh, cupcake.
They're gonna be decent, bro.
Okay, Minnesota, Arkansas. Who better?
Minnesota will scrape them on a neutral field.
Minnesota. Oh, you said on a neutral field.
Yeah, it got to be a neutral field. They got to be a neutral field.
Minnesota,
It's 2 different conferences.
Minnesota, Vanderbilt.
Man, Minnesota is scraping Vanderbilt too, bro. They had a one-hit wonder season last year, bro. I guarantee you they lose 7 games, 8 games.
Now all of a sudden the Minnesota Golden Gophers is
Vandy has never been good. They had one good year. Why are y'all so hyped about Vandy?
They had 2 good years.
Oh, out of how many? 100?
Oh, yeah, you're right about 100.
Yeah, okay then. They're a cupcake.
Okay,
They're notorious. They are notorious cupcake.
Keep going. Now all of a sudden Minnesota is a Big Ten power. Go
okay,
ahead.
Purdue. What I say? 3. I said 3 cupcakes. Purdue a cupcake. UCLA a cupcake. And Rutgers. That's 6 to y'all 7.
So Minnesota is the team that you're not considering a cupcake?
Minnesota is not a cupcake, bro. I'm telling you. Watch. You gonna see?
They have brownie.
a cookie for sure.
Oh my God! All right, bro, you got me on that one, bro.
Nah, I like the way that Minnesota outlook because I like the neutral field look with them against Arkansas. I think they'd win.
Gotta be a neutral field, man.
Man, Arkansas will pound the hell out of there, man. They too physical for Minnesota.
Bro, the Big Ten is all about physicality. What are you talking about?
Listen. Oh, so you mean to tell me they're gonna be able to deal with Jalen Green's legs, or did Jalen Green transfer?
I think he
Taylor Green. Taylor Green.
Yeah. Or did he transfer?
I don't know. I'm getting around to them real soon, though.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I had, man. I mean, he talking this crazy old stuff over there, but
we about to be lighting the chat up all night.
No, not tonight, bro. Not tonight.
No, I'm messing with you. Text the separate one, Zay, that you got set up with us.
I'm about to go to sleep.
Oh, I forgot that other one. I'm gonna be up for at least another hour and a half.
Yeah, I'll be up that long, but I ain't gonna be texting.
Nah, you good. I'm gonna watch this game. Oh, I'm gonna break the news to y'all, man. Yeah, we down 0-1 in the series. I think we gonna bounce back since one of them 4 on that Mount Rushmore is hurt. So if y'all figured out my team, we could talk about them in the text tomorrow after they get this win tonight.
Hey, y'all see what KT said, man?
Well, I mean, the way you just ran down, we playing 7 cupcakes and y'all playing 6 cupcakes. Yeah, I mean, I guess he would say that.
Hey,
it's gonna be 6 cupcakes though in 20 team leagues, bro.
ACC might step up this year, KT. I know Florida State is. I don't know about your Hurricanes.
Yeah, the ACC got like all cupcakes except for like 4 programs.
And we're going to tear up that SEC first game of the season, and we're going to go from there. We on a redemption tour, 25.
Man, I hope so, man, because the Big 12, that's the worst football conference at the moment.
What is?
The ACC, hands down. It's not even close.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The Big 12, the Big 12 did add some good solid teams in it, and the ACC, they had SMU, but that's about it.
Bro, they need to bring over, once they add this 19 thing, He said, "Bless your heart." They need to add like how they do in the basketball with like the Big Ten versus ACC challenge, bro, and all that.
Yeah.
They need to put the Big Ten. It need to be rotation though. It need to be like Big Ten versus ACC 1 year and SEC versus Big 12, and then they need to rotate. And it need to be
That would
Big
be
10 and SEC. You know what I mean? That'd be so fun, bro. And it need to always be based off of prior year
Yeah,
rankings.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. All right, y'all. Well, I'm ready to get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all joining us
Oh, no doubt,
tonight.
man.
Thanks
Always.
everybody for jumping in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe, share our videos, and tell your friends about it, and your friends and family about us, because we're trying to grow this channel. We almost where we need to be, where YouTube will start saying, "Listen, these guys is pretty damn good. Let's get them some money."
That's a great sign. That's a great sign always, man. Make sure y'all stay locked in, tuned in. We dropping shorts, we dropping knowledge. We got more talk coming on the NBA side. Make sure y'all tune in to that big banger tonight between Minnesota, Golden State that's tipped off already. So outside of that, WTP Sports Dudes Level Up, Sports 10, FanDuel Zay as well. We in the building, and as City League TV say, we out.
Hey,
Peace.
Florida State and Texas is still trash.